Hello YouTube. This is going to be a little update and a few of my thoughts, little off the cuff of what has happened in the first 2 days of the league this time. So first of all, iLeague started as a wander, straight into Kinetic Blast and Power Siphon. Now, I only did this because I was leveling and would be playing at least the first few days with a duo, an aura bot, who is sitting in my hideout over there with all the auras in the world. I would not suggest anyone start a wander solo. That was a relatively rough experience leveling, even with the nerfs. Like, even considering them with an aura bot, it was a little rough. It feels very good now, but it was not a great experience on day one. That is not something people would enjoy. We have managed to get ourselves into CI, into a 6 link. We've managed to get ourselves a weapon that exists. I wouldn't call it a good one, but it exists and it's there. We got ourselves a 6 link, so that works. Everything is going pretty well. Wanding is incredibly fun. However, day one was just absolutely horrible. I have a little snapshot of my day one character here doing 27k kinetic blast damage on its own, basically nothing, using a Piscator's just to buff up the amount of damage my aura bot was giving me, and if my aura bot was not beside me, I couldn't kill anything. It's fine now, but at the start, ooh, that was rough. That was very, very rough. It was also, as you can see, quite squishy, even at level 84. So not the greatest leveling experience, but we knew this was how it was going to be going in, and we decided to commit to it just because we also knew how it would be by now, the end of day 2, when my aura bot's gone low life, has all the auras now, and I've gone CI and into a real wand instead of a Piscator's, and now it feels amazing. So that was pretty good. The league start has been rather fantastic. This is how our gameplay basically looks now, which is just we run around maps, I cast Kinetic Blast, everything gets one shot. This is monster level 81, so we're in 4 Watchstone maps already. We have done a Sirus 5. Luckily, it didn't bug out, it didn't do anything invisible, it didn't do anything weird. Performance has been amazing this league. The league start was flawless for everyone in my leveling group and everyone in chat. No one had any complaints. It all looked really, really good. I haven't had any bugs except the T-pose thing that everyone else is having. The T-pose thing is hilarious, but I do want that to go away because it was funny the first 7 or 8 times it happened, and now it's starting to get a little old. So there is that. However, let's dive into a little bit of my feelings about most of these changes. I think it's going to take everyone a long time to adjust to, but I actually think overall most of them are good. I have some negatives, but I'm really enjoying that we've had to fight mobs and actually care what they're doing. I love the slowdown. I love the squish of all of our damage numbers. I just love the difficulty that the game feels like it's at now. It's taken me a lot longer to get here than it normally would, and I, at least personally, really like that it's sort of elongated my play. Like it's made it take longer to get places. For me as a full-time gamer, that's been fantastic. I've loved that. This will probably keep my retention way up, but I can definitely see how people would not be in love with that slowdown, especially if you were on more limited time. Flask changes have been very, very rough. I'm starting to get used to them now, but the one thing that really gets me is bleed. Bleed has been a massive, massive problem. even when you use the new ailment removal flask stuff the correct way, like the way they want you to now, where you wait until you get afflicted by the ailment and then use the flask to get rid of it and become immune. 1 second immunity to corrupting blood is not nearly enough when it could easily take 7, 8, 12 seconds to kill a corrupting blood rare that was exceptionally tanky. And you get what, 2 charges of your utility flask at best. So over the course of this maybe 12-second fight with a single mob, you have 2 seconds of immunity if used optimally to get rid of something that will kill you in probably under a second. And so that's been rough. I've had more deaths today and yesterday combined than I usually have in an entire 3-month period. An entire 3 months, I've had more deaths just in the first 2 days, and a very large amount of them have been to corrupting blood. I can get by on the freeze and the ignite and the shock all being reactive ones because I have decent enough reactions and I'm starting to get used to it now. It was very rough on day 1, but I'm starting to get used to it now, and I can get by with that. And I think with a little bit of time, we will mostly get used to that. But corrupting blood just doesn't fit that mold. It does. Corrupting blood and bleed in general does way too much damage to not be able to just be immune to it when you want to be. So I've not loved that. I'm not in love with that at all. The league mechanic itself, I really like. I wish that they didn't have immunities at all. I feel like immunities are just a really cheap and unfun thing to add in, because it's not really a thought process or a toss up. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do only 30% damage to these mobs, but that reward looks really good, so I'm going to risk it. No, it's just, you can't do this thing. You're just not allowed to engage with these parts right here. It's just not for you. And that doesn't feel great. I don't feel super strongly about it because we get to pick not to blow it up. But I still don't love it. It's not fantastic, right? It just isn't great. That being said, the 20% cull box, which I imagine most people who haven't played Low Life haven't even noticed, but one of the mods on the new thing is 20% cull. So if you pick that mod and you happen to be Low Life, or someone in your party is Low Life, they instantly die if they take any damage at all from anything. The tiniest little AoE tick and they just get culled, which is hilarious, but also seems quite unbalanced. And I really wish that that cull mod had its own like special color like all of the immunity ones do, because that is far more impactful than you can't kill these mobs, or 90% of your damage, which happens to be lightning, no longer works because you accidentally used a lightning box. Just instant cull, so much stronger. That's OP. That's so OP. So I kind of want that changed. Other than that, I feel like I've been enjoying this a lot more than any league recently, and I actually like it quite a bit. And I'm trying to hold off judgment until I've been playing for a few weeks, because I did take 5 weeks off POE, which is probably the longest break from POE I've ever had. And I'm wondering how much of it is me really enjoying the new nerfs and how much of it is me just enjoying being back on POE because I finally took a break of it. And so I'm not sure which one. I would love to hear from as many people as possible on how they're feeling after 2 full days, with all the new nerfs we've got and all the damage squish numbers and the flasks being screwed, and movement skills. Not in love with movement skills, by the way. That didn't need to happen. I'm a big fan of most of the rest of the changes, but like, my flame dash doesn't have any charge recovery at all, and no other movement skill would be any better, and that just feels bad. It feels like we used to have nice fluid movements, and I know they wanted to slow us down, and it feels like most of the other changes they did also slowed us down, and that was really good. But this one just didn't need to happen. This one just didn't need to happen. All the other things that happened would have slowed us down quite a bit, and just the movement skill one, instead of just feeling like a slowdown, it feels like it's now clunky and awkward to move in the game rather than the nice smooth movement we used to have. And so I'm not a big fan of that either. Right, it is late here though, and I have done 2 very long streams, so I apologize for all of the rambling. I am going to attach the Awakener 5 that we did just before the end of stream to the end of this video. So if anyone is interested to see how the Wanderer and an Aurabot takes Awakener 5 Sirus first day, I guess 40 odd hours in, a little under 40 hours into the league, which is probably quite slow for the speedy boy racer people, but for us it's been pretty fast. And I have said a million times, I'm not a good gamer, I just know a lot. So yeah, very fast for us, very happy with it. It has been incredibly fun. I will be playing a lot this league, a lot. I can't wait to play a bunch more builds. I'm going to get into Heist for the first time since Heist League, so see what all that's about. Tons of things. Overall happy, overall excited, little confused about why Reddit's this upset. This is like the most upset I've ever seen them. I don't get it. But yeah, everybody else, please let me know what you think of the league so far. And if you want to stick around and watch the Sirus kill, do that. If not, remember to hit the like button. And I will see everybody tomorrow, hopefully on stream. Goodbye.